Hey automation programmers, this is Codesys admin with you here for another instructional Codesys video. In my last video I showed you all how to make an Are You Sure dialog in your HMI using a pointer, and I had a question. Why use a pointer here and not a regular variable? In this video, I'm going to hopefully illustrate the advantages of using pointers in your dialogues, as well as give a real-world example to help reinforce the idea. But first, let's reiterate the last video. All right, so here it is, the Are You Sure dialogue. You can make yours look any way you like, but here are the important nuts and bolts. First of all, click up at the top of the visualization to reveal the vars associated with it. You're going to need a pointer to bool. I call it toggle bit, but you can call it whatever you want. I've got a display string declared. That's used to show a custom message, but it's not necessary. Next, there needs to be an on mouse down event configured for the yes and no buttons. Do this by clicking on the object and scrolling down to the input config table and click configure. For the yes button, select two events, toggle a variable, then close dialog, in that order. The variable we want to toggle is whatever is in the address that our pointer to bool points to. In this case, I dereference my toggle bit by adding the caret symbol. Remember what a pointer is. It's just a special data type that contains the address, the location in memory of another variable. That's it. In this case, it's a Boolean. So next, all you got to do is make sure the dialog being closed is the Are You Sure dialog. And for the no button, configure the on mouse down event to only close the Are You Sure dialog. Lastly, all you got to do is verify under properties, visualization, that the visualization is set to be used as a dialog. And this Are You Sure dialog should be good to go. Okay, for the implementation, I've got commented underneath the variable declaration. And here it says, to use this, you must assign a pointer to bool for each bit you want to toggle and address it to the toggle bit. And it gives you some syntax. Okay, so here I've got a simple HMI. It's a drum, a pump, and a blend tank. You can start the pump, stop the pump, as well as start and stop the blend tank's mixer. A little disclaimer here, this is purely for demonstration purposes. In the real world, you'd have, say, an I/O bus integrated with alarm tables and fail-safes. But let's say you wanted to protect a connected HMI from accidental mouse clicks or finger presses. Well, we've got three buttons, so we need to add three pointers. I'll do this first one. Pump one on HMI. So, in the global variable list underneath the original declaration where I've got pump one HMI, I say, okay, pump one on HMI pointer equals pointer to bool, and set that equal to the address of pump1.hmi. And there it is. If at this point you're not comfortable with pointers, I would suggest returning here after a little bit more practice. The concept is similar throughout most programming languages. You could do some research, but you need to take great care in your code when changing the values of referenced addresses or reassigning the pointer. Because if somehow your in the code, this pointer doesn't point to a valid bool and only a valid bool, the program is going to crash, your PLC will go into fault, and your I/O bus will shut down, which is bad. But so I recommend not touching these two lines of code. Okay, now the pointer is declared, the implementation is pretty straightforward. I'll just navigate to whatever button I want and enable the Are You Sure dialog. And so for this one, I'll go to the start buttons input config table. Here I've got some structured text setting the pump to true. I'll click configure, use the left and right arrows to get rid of that, and select open a dialog. If your Are You Sure dialog does not appear in the dropdown, make sure it's configured to be used as a dialog under visualization properties. My Are You Sure dialog has a string as well as a pointer, so I'm going to hard code the string in for now. And the value of pointer to bool, for me, is going to be pump one on pointer, or whatever you called your pointer, and bam. So that's it. As you can see, it's working. You can go ahead and do the same process for the stop and mixer buttons. But like I said, it's just a demo, but this little visualization is nice because I can reuse it in any one of my programs, and it behaves the same every time. Hope this helped. If it did, comment or subscribe, like, whatever. Hope it clarified some stuff.